Hello, empowered yoga teachers. I didn't announce I was doing this, so I don't know if anyone will jump on here, but I'm starting a new series here on Facebook called Yin is Your Friend. I have been doing weekly tutorials for the Mama Nurture Prenatal page, and people had asked me to do something similar for Yin Yoga, so this will be it. I will go live weekly, sometime between 9 and 10 on Mondays. It may be more consistent after I get going a little bit. It'll probably be 10. And we will talk about Yin Yoga, teaching tutorials, what Yin Yoga is all about, why Yin is your friend. And even if you're a student of yoga, this is really helpful because you can just learn things that will help you when you're in a yoga class to modify things that maybe the teacher isn't offering you. So if you are new to Yin Yoga or new to me teaching Yin Yoga, a few little things. The premise and basis of teaching Yin Yoga is to get into the connective tissue around the joints, the large joint groups, the knees, the hips, the back, and we do work in the neck and shoulders some. And I have a hashtag that I created called #FeelStillStay. And what this means, it's an easy way for you to remember the 3 principal tenets of Yin Yoga, which are find where you feel something, so create a sensation. And like Sean Korn says, sensation is the language of the body. So you get into a posture where you can feel something. And then you get still. Once you're kind of figured out where that is, you take a little time, find some comfort, but a place where you can actually feel some sensation happening. And we'll talk about this more as we go. And then you stay for a while. So feel, still, stay is the easiest way. My Yin Yoga students really love being able to reflect back on that because it helps them remember. And before we get into really what are the Yin Yoga postures and the meridian lines and all of those things, we need to step back and think about what needs to happen mentally and physically in the body to be able to access that tissue. This soft and connective tissue in the fascia is most effectively accessed when the body is in homeostasis or balance, and the parasympathetic nervous system is allowed to be stimulated and work. And one of the best ways to do that is with a posture called constructive rest. And this idea of constructive rest really comes from the medical world. Essentially, it is the doing of nothing. But the way we set this up really impacts the psoas in the sense that the psoas muscle is allowed to release. And someone just jumped on. Oh, hey, Iris. And with the psoas muscle, with constructive rest, we're able to let the psoas muscle just not really have to do anything. It can just really rest and relax. And I will show you how to set that up. So almost every Yin Yoga class I teach, I start it with constructive rest because it can be really difficult for people to come into a class and just get into a posture maybe where they're a little uncomfortable, and then the teacher says, okay, be really still and stay there. Like there's several steps to helping a student access that. And using constructive rest is probably the best way that I know. So your psoas muscle is the main muscle, I think the only muscle connecting your spine to your legs. So it carries a lot of weight, physical weight, emotional weight. And if we can get that psoas to just let go, then it can really open you up to being able to access the tissue all throughout the class. So there's a few ways that you can do this, but we'll just start with lying down on the back, bending your knees. We're not doing anything really in the torso or the pelvis except just, having it level, but we're not pressing the lower back down, we're not arching, we're not tipping the pelvis, we're just finding your neutral. And the other little thing I would say here about the neck is everything along the back needs to be parallel. So if your neck, or if you see your students and their neck is cranked up a little bit like this, it really needs to be long. And if doing that causes any kind of strain, you can pull a blanket under, and that for me even just really leveled that up so that the chin can be soft. And then knees are hip distance apart, no wider. The heels are on the floor in line with the hips, and then walk them out a bit. And this is a place to start. I love this, but I feel like I can relax more if I have a bolster under my knees. Now this requires, or this makes my legs dangle a little bit because I'm short, but it feels so good, and I do feel like my lower back can release the most when I have this bolster wedged under my legs. So if you teach prenatal yoga too, this is really good for that. Prenatal, well, with prenatal you might not want them flat on their back depending on where they are in their pregnancy. But what I really meant to say was restorative yoga. It can be really good for restorative yoga. It's a great way to start or end a class. You could do it at the end of class as Shavasana or as a Shavasana option. So you can be here. Another option would be just to have the knees like we started, but then just have the thighs come together so the knees are falling in. It creates a little bit something different in the pelvis, but some people really like this. And another way that you can do this is with a chair and putting the legs up on a chair. And I don't actually have a chair available right now because I'm moving, so, but I will use 2 bolsters. So you would just have kind of like get them in it like legs up the wall. And for me, this is actually perfect because my heels and knees are almost in alignment. But if it were a chair, you would just have knee and heel aligned, and then the calf resting on the chair. This is really nice too. And then with arms, you want shoulder blades tucked under. Arms can be out to the sides or even on the belly is really nice for breath awareness. And then remembering you can pad the head or neck if you see that's out of alignment. And then with the breathing, just have it be normal here. I'll sit up and kind of come toward you so I can see who's on. Hey Dawn, it's good to see you guys. So I was letting everyone know that I'm doing a Yin is Your Friend weekly yoga teaching tips for Yin yoga and all kinds of things related to Yin yoga and meridians, and pretty much since you both did the training, everything that you learned in training, but even more, and a lot of tutorials so that you can have something to refer back to when you're putting your classes together. And since you're both on here, do you have any questions? I'm so excited to be able to offer this. People ask me for these things all the time. So, and with constructive rest, you want to, if you can, stay there for at least 5 minutes. I mean, I know if you're putting it in a class, that can be kind of long, but I've even started classes where we do this for 10 minutes. But if you're doing it yourself at home just to start your day off, great. You can even do it in bed with your legs up on some pillows for 10, 15 minutes. 15 minutes would be an optimal minimum, but you know, again, we're working with what we have and with students who maybe aren't used to being still for that long. So thank you guys. I'm so glad to see you on here, Iris and Dawn. We'll share this, and I will see you guys next Monday. Have a great day.